everyone, and thank you so much for taking the time tonight to be here with us all. What a beautiful community of people. And, I just want to say really well done to each and every one of you because we are doing so well. We really, really are. And just by raising the vibration tonight, raising the consciousness tonight, that energy goes out to the whole world. So well done. And we'll continue to build on this. Just keep building. It's all going to be okay. And we have got a great night for you tonight. So as always, for those of you that don't know me, but I think everyone does, my name is Suzanne, and from Journey to Heart and Soul, and with a team of amazing people. I always say thank you because gratitude is one of the most important things I think we learn in this life, isn't it? It's one of the most important things to raise our vibration, that we're grateful. Well, for each and every one of you for being here, most importantly, but for the team of people that have worked so tirelessly to make this happen and to keep a Journey to the Heart and Soul going. It's not always been an easy road. They'll tell you that for sure, but we're still here and we're getting stronger and stronger. So huge thank you to Arthur, the director of Journey to Heart and Soul, who's there waving from Cornwall. I bet it's lovely down there by the sea, Arth. Lucky you. And of course, Banwell, who's by his side, Black Labrador. Yeah. And David, who's there in Cornwall as well. So thank you, David, for all the hard work you've put in over the years. It will never go unnoticed. It's hugely appreciated. Without you, we wouldn't have Journey to Heart and Soul. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And Mark always says to me, don't say anything about me. Well, he knows I'm going to. And Mark has been absolutely amazing. He's just a rock. And thank you, Mark, from the bottom of my heart. Mark is our guest speaker tonight and also our company secretary too. So he keeps us in line. Absolutely. Thank goodness for Mark. And Mark will be talking to you very, very shortly. I also want to thank Paul because Paul is the technical genius. He's always there. He's such a beautiful, beautiful person inside and out. He's always willing to help, and he knows I'm quite technically challenged most of the time, although I'm learning. I am learning, especially in lockdown, but he's such a beautiful person. So thank you, Paul, for helping. And of course, Yvonne, for all your help and support and all your beautiful energy that you bring as well. And for all of you, because without you, we wouldn't have a community. So we have people coming in from New York and Dan from Canada, and I don't know who else is there, but certainly Alexandra. Thank you for your commitment, Alexandra, for supporting Journey to Heart and Soul, and Dan for all you do as well for Journey to Heart and Soul. You've been a key person in this, absolutely 100%. So all the speakers as well that have given their time over these last 8 weeks. We set up Journey to Heart and Soul online because of lockdown. And it was really a way of reaching out to the community to help, to be able to be a source of comfort, to be a place where people could come and get some solace really and know they're not alone. But we're going to grow from this. We didn't do it to grow in that sense, but it's growing and we've got some great ideas for the future. So watch this space. It's very, very exciting. So the evening will look like this. It will be, approximately till about 8 o'clock. Oh no, what am I talking about? 8:30. We're going to start off with the main speaker, who I'll introduce in a moment. Then I'm going to hand you over to Marina, who will do the emotional release. And Marina has a business called My Soul's Radiance. She is an expert at life codes and emotional release, and we'll talk more about Marina as we go forward. And then handing you over to Yvonne, who's going to send distant healing. And this will be for anyone that you know who's not well. And I know we all know people who are not well. We all know people who have passed away. This is happening more and more. So these people need healing for their safe journey home. This is really important that we send them healing and protection and angels to take them home. So this is for the people who have passed away, but also for our animals and planet and Mother Earth, who is recovering nicely. She's doing very, very well, actually. And I was listening to Eckhart Tolle today, and he was talking about how good things are happening, but there's always things that are not so good along the side of it. But that gets more notice because of the noise. But let's not lose focus on the good things that are happening right now, because believe me, there's a massive spiritual involvement in all of us. I don't know if you've noticed that, but certainly I noticed that more people are reading, they're listening more, there's acts of kindness to our animals, to our friends, to our communities. It's really moving. And I don't know if you watched Eurovision last night, but that actually was on a very deep level. I've never seen a Eurovision Song Contest quite like it. So we are rising up, we're evolving, and this is all the good things that are happening, and planet Earth is having a rest. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to our company secretary. We're very proud of that, Mark. And a very dear friend, Mark Wainwright. And Mark and I knew each other. We were introduced, gosh, in the early 90s when Dan was very tiny. It was a long time ago, so you remember that well. And I was helping to open a clinic in Barnes called the Ultimate Health Clinic, and Mark was their accountant, and we touched base there and became good friends. And then for whatever reason we lost contact. Sometimes we do in life, these things happen. And I was doing an event at Harry Edwards Healing Centre where Mark works and does healing. And who should walk in but Mark and his lovely wife, Jenny, after all those years, 20 years. It was a meeting where we looked at each other and went, oh my goodness, we were meant to meet up again. And yeah, bless him. He's worked tirelessly since that day. He's put up with me and the team, and but we just kept going, didn't we, Mark? So he's going to talk to you today. He has joined the White Eagle Lodge, which is a lodge that's very dear to my heart as well. And that was some years ago, and also qualified as a spiritual healer with the National Federation of Spiritual Healers. So I don't know how many years actually you've been a spiritual healer for, Mark, but I know it's a very, very long time. I've had personal healing from you. You're amazing. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Mark Wainwright.
Hello, good evening. Can everybody hear me? Thumbs up if you can. Great. Thank you, Suzanne. You overdid the introduction as usual, but thank you for putting out this kind of event, which is so uplifting to everybody and so necessary at this time. Okay, to begin, this little piece is called Source and Destination. That will become clear as I get through this. The subtitle is A Wider Perspective, which that thought only came to me a few days ago, but again, you'll see by the end of this what I'm meaning. At the beginning of this talk, you'll be thinking, what on earth is he going on about now? But again, that will become clear by the very end. So let's start. Each and every one of you is a star child. That also will become clear by the very end. Now the talk will begin. If you were to jump into your car and drive for a couple of hours to go and see a friend, you might think that's a rather long journey. But it's not. It's not at all. If you look at that journey on a map of the country that you live in, you'll see that it's almost nothing. Concentrate now, because the increases in scale are going to get very big very quickly. If you look at the planet of Jupiter, there's the great red spot, which is a cloud formation that's stayed in the same place ever since it was first seen, which is impossible, but it does. Its other claim to fame is that that red spot is big enough to hold planet Earth 3 times over. When you look at all the planets, all the moons, all the comets, the asteroid belt, the Kuiper belt, you put all of those together, you get a mere 2% of the matter in our solar system. The other 98% is our sun, our star. You might think, well, actually, that's rather huge. But as stars go, ours is quite modest. It's middle-aged, middle-sized, nothing special. Our galaxy is a bit big. It's a bit big. There's a sign in the Jodrell Bank Radio Telescope Centre in Cheshire in the UK that says our galaxy contains about 100 billion suns. That's quite a bit. Actually, that notice is probably out of date because now they reckon it's more like 200 billion suns. Our galaxy is supposed to be 100,000 light years from side to side. Now, a light year is the distance a beam of light will travel in 1 year. You can work this out after this evening's session's over. Light travels at just shy of 300,000 kilometers per second in 1 second. So in 1 minute, light will have traveled nearly 1 million kilometers. So to work out the distance across our galaxy, you take 300,000, you multiply that by the number of seconds in a year, and you multiply that again by 100,000. So our galaxy is pretty darn big, actually. This notice in the Jodrell Bank Radio Telescope Centre goes on to say that there could be 100 billion galaxies in the universe. And each of those 100 billion galaxies could have 100 billion stars in them. It's too big. It's too big for us to comprehend. Add into that discussion amongst astronomers now, discussing whether we live in a universe or a multiverse. In other words, there could be other dimensions with their billions of galaxies. The vastness is beyond belief. And then you realize that God, the Great Spirit, is everywhere. There is nowhere in this stupendous vastness where the Great Spirit is not. That is just an introduction, by the way. How does our sun shine? Very simple. The heat and the pressure forces 2 atoms of hydrogen forced together to form 1 atom of hydrogen. I should have said helium, didn't I? 2 atoms of hydrogen are forced together to form 1 atom of helium, and energy is given off. That simple reaction has powered our sun for billions of years and will continue to power it for more billions of years. When it becomes an old lady, our sun will expand. It'll probably devour Mercury and Venus, possibly the Earth, we don't know, and then shrink to become a white dwarf. There are, however, very, very much bigger stars in our universe, supergiants, and their end is very, very different. When such a star gets to the end of its life, it will explode. Can you imagine the amount of energy given off by one exploding star, which would make it briefly outshine the other 100 billion stars in its own galaxy? You can't. It's too big. It's too much. That kind of a star is called a supernova. In all these billions of galaxies, they're not a rare event. We may have one in the constellation of Orion before too much longer. In such an explosion, the atoms are forced together to create all the gases, all the minerals, all the metals listed in the periodic table of elements. And stupendous quantities of these elements are created in this huge explosion. And all this matter will then be traveling through interstellar space. You know how far it is from one side of our galaxy to another, but that's nothing compared to the distances between galaxies. And all this newly created matter can travel through space for uncounted aeons of time, mind-numbing distances. And it's incredible. Somewhere in the outer spiral arm of the galaxy, a cloud of dust and gas will begin to coalesce, and it'll slowly grow, and the bigger it gets, the more it will attract, until it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, until the heat and the pressure will trigger ignition and a new star will have been born. And some of this newly created matter traveling through this universe will be caught by this new star, and it'll end up in orbit around. And this new planet will be there for more billions of years as it grows and develops and settles down. And when the time is right, the Great Spirit will take some of these elements and breathe life into them, and life will begin on this planet. And over uncounted centuries and millennia, this life will grow and develop, and those who live on this planet will become more and more knowledgeable and more understanding of the place where they are, until they call the planet they live on the Earth, and the star that their planet orbits around they call the Sun. Nearly every atom of your physical being was once inside a star, which is why I called you a star child. Each and every one of you is made up of recycled stardust. Think on that. Every atom of your physical being, nearly every atom, was once inside a star, inside a sun. You will now have a clearer perspective on the effort made by the universe in creating the physical body that you inhabit. Stupendous forces, unimaginable eons of time, distances so great they're beyond belief, and more eons of time while life on planet Earth develops. All of this merely to create the atoms of your physical being. And yet, the physical part of you is by far the smallest part of you, because the life within you is from the Great Spirit. The Great Spirit is infinite, infinitely loving, infinitely wise, and the Great Spirit created the life that's within you now, the life that you are living. You need to focus on the increase in perspective because it is vast. Living on planet Earth is like being in a boarding school. We're born, we live here for a term, then we go back home. All we take with you is what we've learned, what we've become. And then later on you come back again for another term at this school. And over the millennia, you will learn, you will grow, you will develop, you will become more spiritually developed than those who live in the world above. The challenges here are to test us, because every challenge faced and overcome is another ladder on the rung to spiritual progression. Over many, many lifetimes, you will become more and more developed, more and more spiritual, and more of an inspiration to those who follow on behind you. You will become leaders. You are leaders. Physical bodies don't last very long, but the life within you, the soul, is immortal. And now you understand how life is so beautifully arranged by the Great Spirit, because it will take you all of the rest of eternity to become even partly like the Great Spirit. And yet becoming even partly like the Great Spirit is incredibly worthwhile. There is nothing better. So your capacity for spiritual growth is unlimited. Know that. There is no end to the spiritual growth that you can attain. Becoming like the Great Spirit will take the rest of eternity, but luckily your soul is immortal. So the Great Spirit has given you an infinitely worthwhile task to perform while you live forever, and you learn, and you grow, and you develop. Now you understand more about perspective. You might think when you book a holiday and you've got to wait 4 months before you can go there, or when you switch the computer on and you've got to wait 2 minutes before it fires up and you can start typing, that feels like forever. It's not. A lifetime is minute. 1,000 years is a speck. You came from vast forces. Your soul is from the Great Spirit, which means it's immortal. You are, how to put this? Each and every one of you is a supercharged bundle of infinite potential. So never again worry about your petty little worries. Things that have happened to me that I think, oh my God, why did that happen to me? It's nothing, not compared to the infinity of greatness that lies before each and every one of us. So yes, you're star children. You are children of the infinite and loving Great Spirit. Your future is superlative. Therefore, each and every one of you is absolutely wonderful and blessed and special. So never again waste time worrying. Thank you for listening. And if anybody wants to ask a question, please feel free.
Would anyone like to ask Mark a question? Feel free, don't be afraid, just Paul can unmute you.
Yeah.
We're all stunned into silence now.
Yourselves, if you want to say something.
Anybody like to ask a question? We've got time for one or two.
Can I just say something, Suzanne?
Yes, Esther. Hello, good evening.
It's sort of what Mark, thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. That was music to my ears.
Good, you're
Absolutely
very well.
Wonderful talk. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
You can't be more welcome.
Anyone else? Got time for one more?
You can't all be stunned into silence. Come on,
No,
somebody.
there's got to be someone there just wishing they could say something.
Mark, I was amused about the calculation. It shows you like the numbers. You know, it's when you said in the beginning, you can calculate this, multiply this with this and this. And I'm like, okay. I think I didn't get that completely at all. And I totally get it that for my mind and for the physicality, it's too big and too vast.
It's
yeah.
only a number. All you've got to take is 300,000, multiply that by the number of seconds in 1 year, and multiply that again by 100,000. You can do that.
Oh.
Calculators were invented for.
Mark, that was absolutely amazing. The depth of that was just truly beautiful. Really, thank you, thank you.
I
And
hope it made everybody realise just how special they are.
absolutely,
We're not little people. We are vast.
absolutely vast and unique.
Yeah,
We're all
absolutely.
very individual expressions into the world. And you've summed up exactly how I feel about our life and lives and our eternal beings, because we are eternal, we go on forever. And when you appreciate that, it takes away the fear. So we can actually live our lives to the fullest because we're not afraid.
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
make sure you live your life to the fullest, because you are unique. At no time in the past and no time in the future will there be anybody exactly like you again, or me, or anybody else.
Absolutely.
You're unique. So live it to the full. Make the most of it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. And actually, the way you described, you know, us coming to learn a lesson, really, you know, a bit like boarding school.
It is boarding.
You know, you come into the classroom, you learn the lesson. If you haven't learned the lesson, well, okay, I need to do better maybe, or whatever. But the potential for growth, and particularly at this time, is just absolutely, well, it's huge potential. There is no limit or no cap to our spiritual growth, as you said.
None whatsoever.
No.
You're an infinite being. So make the use of it. Make the
That was such a wonderful talk. Thank you, Mark, so much. Thank you. I'm sure there'll be questions after. Can people contact you?
My email address is on the introduction to this evening.
Okay. And you offer healing as well, is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm here for now.
So if anyone would like to reach out to Mark to have some healing, please do, because Mark is, well, one of the best healers I have ever encountered. And I know you can say, no, I'm not. And okay, we'll let you say that. But truly, he is just wonderful. His compassion, sincerity.
I could do better.
Yeah.
If anybody wants healing, please contact me, because my association has a group of healers, and with a distant healing list goes to all of them. So it won't be just me, it'll be a whole group of people sending healing, which is absolutely wonderful. This list is sent out once a week to everybody on this list.
Wonderful, Mark. And there's lots of people who actually really do need help. And even though we've been 8 weeks in lockdown, there's an escalation of demand for help. I've seen that actually, particularly over the last week. Even though we're going into a more lesser lockdown, as it were, there's an escalation of people needing help. So, you know, we can't do it on our own. We need a community. We need good people. Step up, rise up, and take the challenge. And if you feel that you can have a purpose in terms of helping people, now's the time. And Mark, I know that you will help as much as you can. So thank you so much. We're blessed to have you.
It matters such a lot now. The new religion for Earth is service to other people. Forget
Absolutely.
the words, forget the creeds. Service to other people is now the most important thing for any of us to do.
Absolutely.
And the need for healing will get greater and greater the more this pandemic carries on.
Yes.
So we're here, we want to help. We want to channel healing. Please contact us as soon as possible if you need it, so we can step up and do something for you.
And on the last point, you mentioned that everyone on this call are leaders. And I just wanted to emphasize that everyone on this call is a heart-led leader. And the world is looking for leaders.
Yes.
The fact that you've got on the call, that you're committed to growth, that you're committed to being here, means you're a leader. So congratulations, well done. And go out and spread that beautiful energy. Let's go and do a good job. So thank you, Mark. Bless your heart.
Thank you, Suzanne. God bless. Thanks for the chance to speak.
God bless. God bless you, Mark. Bless you. And now I'd like to hand over to a very dear friend of mine, Marina, who is just a source of, well, beauty and delightfulness. She's just such a gorgeous, gorgeous person inside and out. She's committed, she's dedicated, she's disciplined, she's a heart-centered leader, she's a visionary, she's everything, Marina, for this time and beyond. So I know you're going to talk about emotional release. Some of you have already experienced Marina's emotional release, and it may be that initially you can't quite get to grips with it and can't quite get the meaning of it. However, as human beings, we all flux through different emotions, and sometimes those emotions get stuck in our energetic field. And if that's the case, it will cut off the life force, the flow of energy. And we need to be in free flow. We need as much energy for optimum health and to function. So Marina will show you a method called Sedona method that I practice myself, and Marina's helped me personally with over the last few years. It's so effective in helping to process those emotions so that you feel them to the end. So Marina, take it away.
Thank you very much, Suzanne. My name is Marina Duško, originally from Serbia, but I've been in UK longer than in previous culture. So in terms of I want to introduce you to emotional release, which is called the Sedona method. This book, you can, it's actually the course itself. It's based on the questions. And questions really, when you have a question, it will guide you in a certain direction. And if you have a question that closes you up, then it will guide you in the closeness. If you get a question that opens you up in exploration, then then you will see beyond and you will go towards your stars, you know. So what's happening in the emotional release, I will explain, and it is relevant what Mark was saying about the bigness, our vastness. We are in human forms, but we also have the unlimited nature, which is using the body's mind to channel through and have the experiences. So in terms of the emotions, if you imagine that this is the awareness the awareness is something like that it's unlimited, and it's like a background presence which is unchangeable, and this is the changing of the emotion, belief, thoughts. So all of that we tend to identify with. And when we identify with our thoughts, with our beliefs, with our stories, what happens, we hold on to them without, obviously, subconsciously, not being aware of that. So when in emotional release, you start practicing opening up and observing rather than holding on. So you start, rather than identifying and holding on. So you start, when you observe something, it naturally, I hope it didn't make lots of noise, it naturally falls down. You don't have to do a lot. You can, but the main thing is you need to understand what the tendency to recognize that every experience, every feelings has a beginning, middle, and end, and it will pass through. But if you see it, you know, if you kind of want to suppress the feeling at the beginning, you don't allow it to go the cycle, to go to the end. You kind of go, no, I mustn't. Actually, you have to feel uncomfortable. You can't have the range of like if you're having a musical scale, you can't have the range of the scale, just the ones that you like. You know, I don't want to feel this feeling, I just want this feeling. That doesn't work. You have to feel the uncomfortable in order to get into that observation of your unlimited nature, to be more aware of that all is passing through. It's like being the sky, observing the clouds. You don't have to struggle to observe the clouds. You don't have to struggle to, by the way, without identification, if you don't identify with mind, body, with your thoughts, with your beliefs, you have no suffering. The main suffering comes with the identification. And you don't have to believe me, by the way. I am not asking you to believe any of that. I'm asking you to check it out, experiment, and discover for yourself. There is no believing. I want to go beyond belief to the stars and getting into that sense of practicing that unlimited nature, practicing that awareness. Is this making sense so far? Kind of thumbs up if it makes sense or something. Thank you. Okay, so we are going, I will guide you, facilitate you with questions. By the way, you can't do it wrong. Truly, you can't. It is whatever is ready naturally to be released, and if you, it will. Whatever it's not what I would suggest to you. Do your best to do it with your heart rather than with your mind. I'm not asking your logic. I'm not asking your feelings to give permission to release or your mind to release. I'm asking more of that unlimited beingness that you are and your heart to come from that, to observe that, and then choose what it's naturally releasing. Okay, so if you make yourself comfortable, you don't have to close your eyes. You can open your eyes or close your eyes. Either is perfectly okay. The other thing, when I ask you a question, the best thing is to keep observing as best you can and allow it to, whatever it is present, to be present. This is not about fixing. This is about observing. Okay, so allow yourself to focus on your feet and imagine the deep roots like a tree in the ground, and then take a deep grounded breath and exhale gently in your own time, and then another deep grounded breath and exhale gently, and one more deep grounded breath and exhale gently. Allow your body to relax, your mind to stay alert. Now welcome what is present to you at this moment. The sensation, the feelings, the stories, the pictures. Just welcome all as it is. You don't have to fix it or change it, just as it is. Welcome what's present right now for you. Just allow it to be there and just allow it to be present as best you can with it. Then could you also welcome up a sense that that is your story, your beliefs, your pictures, or your sense of personal. Welcome that sense of personal, acknowledge it. Let it be present, please. Also, welcome up the sense that you want to control it, change it, fix it, do something with it or about it. Welcome that too, and allow it to be here. And then as best you can, just for now, could you let it go? Could you let it unravel? Just could you? And would you let it go? Yes or no? And then, if now, take a deep breath. And now allow yourself to bring a fear, anything that is bringing your fear, that it's on the surface. You don't have to make the biggest fear, but just something that you fear. Acknowledge the energy of your fear and welcome it as best you can, just for now. And you don't have to make it bigger or smaller, just as it is. Welcome it as it is. You welcome the fear. And then could you also welcome up the energy of courage? Could you welcome that up as much as you do? Again, no more, no less, just as it is. And could you also welcome up the awareness beyond both polarities? Just do as best you can. Just notice what is beyond both polarities, the affectionate awareness. Then could you also allow yourself to notice any remaining fear and welcome it. Let it be present as it is, no more, no less, just as it is. And could you also welcome up the energy of courage? Could you let it be here as much as it is, no more, no less, as it is. And then could you, by the way, keep remembering the breathe, because breathing is really valuable. And could you now allow yourself to welcome up the awareness beyond both polarities? Just notice as best you can what the affectionate awareness that allows both polarities to exist simultaneously as paradoxical unity. And then as best you can, just for now, do your best to see be that awareness. And as an awareness, allow yourself to observe your fears and your courage. Just notice, just do as best you can. And then as best you can, just notice, are you your fear or are you that which is aware? And if you are that which is aware, just notice how that which is aware observes the fear. Just notice as best you can. And then as best you can, could you just allow yourself to let go? Just could you? And would you? And when? If now, take a deep breath. And could you now allow yourself to welcome your framework where you have holding on to the authority of your past, the history that was your authority. Could you welcome that history that represented that authority? And just let it be here as best you can. Now, could you welcome the opposite of that? Could you welcome your ownership of your authority, unique authority, your uniqueness as an authority? Could you welcome that up too? And could you welcome up that what is beyond both polarities, what it is as it is? And could you welcome up the energy of endings and whatever pictures, sensations, sounds, stories are connected to the endings? And just notice how in a cycle of life, there are continuously endings and beginnings, and they are just natural, but we resist them. Could you welcome the resistance to endings as much as you do? As best you can, just could you welcome your resistance to your endings, your pictures, sensations, sounds, stories about endings? And could you also welcome up identification of this holding on to these endings, wanting to, they're yours, they're personal. All the endings are personal. And could you welcome a sense that you want to hold on, that you want to resist your endings, do something with it or about it? And then as best you can, just for now, could you let the endings set free? Could you set free your energy of endings? Just could you? And would you? And when? Now, could you open up to the new beginnings energy? Could you open up as best you can to pictures, sensations, sounds of the new beginnings, of something new? And then could you also open up that these beginnings are your beginnings, they are personal to you, sense of personal. And could you also welcome up a sense that you want to either bring them forward faster, do something, or hold or resist them, or hold on to them, or whatever, do something with it or about it, control it, change it, do something with it or about it. And as best you can, just for now, could you allow yourself to let go of the beginnings, just for now, as best you can? And would you let go of beginnings? And when? If now, take a deep breath. And now, just notice, just allow yourself to be what you are. This is the presence, by the way. This is in the present of the now. Could you just allow yourself to be what you are? And notice there is nothing required of you to do to be what you are. But just notice, well, allow yourself as best you can to be and relax within into that beingness of what you are. We spend a lot of time focusing on the past and the future. We don't spend a lot of time just being in the present. And now, could you also welcome up that you feel separate from your aspiration, your dreams, as much as you do? And could you welcome up being united, the sense of unitedness with your dreams, being one with your dreams? Again, as best you can. And could you welcome up your uniqueness of awareness beyond both polarities? Could you welcome up the awareness? And could you just allow yourself to welcome up the separation of your soul and essence as much as you do? And could you welcome up being one with your soul expression as much as best you can? And could you welcome up your awareness beyond both polarities? And as best you can, just for now, could you allow yourself to be that awareness? And just relax, just for a moment, and allow yourself to be that awareness, affectionate awareness. And just be what you are. And then just focus on your body and your feet, wiggle your toes, ground, bring the roots in the ground, again like a tree. Take gentle, grounded breath up the spine. Exhale to the top of your head. Another deep breath. Exhale to the top of your head. And then gently bring your awareness back into the room. And what I like to just leave you as a tip, it's throughout the day, just notice when you worry about something, just notice, am I this worry or am I that which is aware of the worry? Am I this belief or am I that which is aware of this belief? Just start separating that holding on and observing, holding on and observing. You understand? It's a real, we need to start discerning. Yes, we will have that automatically, the judgment. Am I this story? Am I this experience? Or am I that which is aware? So that's the tip I want to leave you with. And also the second tip is just throughout the day to say, could I just allow myself to stop? And I don't mean you need to stop moving, but internally stop all the busyness and be what you are. And just be what you are. And just be what you are. And if you repeat this, I repeat this to myself, it's amazing how the mind can quiet. You need to experiment with this. But I invite you to really allow yourself to use it as best you can, whatever calls you. Okay. And my details are there. Also, we have, I left all the details, and the other two speakers that we have present from the previous are Sarah, who did the art, and Heather, who did music. So I suggest you put your details in the chat box too, so people can be aware if they choose to contact any of us for any reason. It's, yeah. So thank you very much for your attention, and yeah, if you need any, if you have any question, would like a session, or would like any support, contact me or any of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marina. And I think it's fair to say that sort of as we're moving forward over the next few weeks, we might observe that, you know, we're feeling anxious or we're feeling fearful or, you know, scared of change, whatever it is. But I would say that we may actually observe even more emotion as we go forward. So it's really important that if you feel drawn to go and get some one-on-one help, that you reach out to Marina or Mark or Yvonne or whoever is on here that can support you, because we can't always do it ourselves. Sometimes it's not possible. But thank you, Marina. I love that. And I've personally had a lot of help from your the emotional release and the Sedona method. It's absolutely amazing. And I like the point you made about being still and in the silence, because there's so much noise going on that we can't be, and we can't just be in silence, you know, which is really, really important, you know, because that's our true being. So thank you, Marina. Bless your heart. And yeah, we'll speak soon, I know. So for ongoing support, it was interesting today because I was reading Stillness Speaks by Eckhart Tolle, and I love his work and The Power of Now. And I was speaking to my son because I was listening to his latest work with Oprah Winfrey. And if you haven't listened to it, listen to it. But I spoke to my son in Canada and he was listening to exactly the same thing at exactly the same time. Now that's synchronicity, right? Out of all of the things we could have been listening to, we listened to exactly the same thing at exactly the same time. So Eckhart Tolle, absolutely fantastic. But there's some really good, you know, on YouTube, have a look, you know, some really good spiritual teachers. Thich Nhat Hanh as well, really love his work too. But so much good stuff out there. So, you know, support your journey with reading and knowledge, and yeah, just getting as much information as you can. So thank you, Marina, thank you. So our final speaker tonight is Yvonne. So Yvonne always, every week, brings her beautiful, I'll call it angelic energy, because to me, that's what it feels like. It's a beautiful, light, angelic, peaceful energy. And we love it because we just go, oh. So thank you, Yvonne. I've worked with Yvonne for many, many years in all different capacities. And Yvonne has been a spiritual healer for 30 years, correct me if I'm wrong, but 30 years, I think, and has trained as a Reiki master with Journey to Heart and Soul. So Yvonne's going to do some distant healing. So I'm going to hand you over to Yvonne, and this will be to the planet Earth and animals and your friends, your loved ones, and those that have passed on. If there's anyone that you specifically would like healing sent to, you can just pop their names in the chat and we will see those coming up, and then we can all send as a collective energy, because we're all one collective consciousness. We'll be sending together and it's very powerful when that's done. So Yvonne, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear
Hello,
me?
sweetheart. There you go. She's got her angels there, see? You even look like an angel. Look at you. You look. You have a pair of wings in a minute. So I'll hand over to you then, Yvonne.
Thank you. Thank you. So welcome to Distant Healing, everyone. And this is for healers and non-healers alike. So I've kept it very simple. And I would just love for you to allow yourself to be a channel for the highest good. For either yourself, for a loved one, Mother Earth or nature. So please get comfortable in where you are sitting, with your palms facing up, feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes and relax your shoulders. And now I ask you to take in a deep breath, hold and relax your breath through your mouth. Again, a deep breath. Hold. Release through your mouth. Now imagine a golden white light above your head that starts to flow in through the top of your head into your crown chakra. Feel the flow of the golden white energies as they flow through into your face, down into your neck, into your arm, into your fingers, down into your chest, into your stomach, down through to your legs, right through to your feet and toes. You are beginning to illuminate with a pure angelic energy. Your healing light begins to shine through you. Visualize where you would like your healing to go and send the pure light, just like a strong thought, around your intended. And watch as the golden light enters into their skin and brings joy and healing. Please allow this healing for just a short while. So it is time for the healing to now slow down and for the light to come back to you. But know that all healing will continue and any energy left will go where it is needed. It's time to take a deep breath. Allow the light in you to continue to shine as you bring your focus back into the room. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Another deep breath. I welcome you back. I hope you enjoyed that short healing, and I say namaste.
Oh, that was beautiful. You done it again. Oh, so lovely. Thank
So
you.
relaxing. Oh,
So lovely. Can we bottle that, please? And
everyone's so quiet.
no, that's it. No. Oh, thank you,
A
Yvonne.
wonderful way to end the evening.
Lovely way, lovely, and our weekly boost of energy and joy and peace, and yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you. And if people want to contact you, it's Energy from Within. So all your details are in the chat. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll
So
put
reach out to Yvonne. She's wonderful. She's got a wonderful way of listening and being there for you. So, yeah, thank you. And I love little Janie in the back there. So animals soaking up the healing too. Fantastic. So thank you to all our speakers, and thank you, Paul, again, and for everyone for being here. We've got, well, we haven't, David Charles Rowan is doing an inner light meditation tonight. That's gone. Can everyone see that? The Zoom number is there, 811-9624-1978. The password is Helios. The first one is complimentary. So if you haven't experienced this inner light meditation, about an hour and a half, does contain some NLP and hypnotherapy as well. So it's quite an in-depth meditation. It's definitely worth an experience. So if you want to go on and do more work, then join David. Okay, so there's that. We are launching some online workshops shortly called Uniting the Spirit. So we'll have some amazing speakers. So look out for that. We'll let you know all of the details in the newsletter. So the newsletter is going out every week at the moment. And this is from Journey to Heart and Soul, and also My Soul's Radiance as well. And also we'll tell you about the work that Heidi Sawyer is doing. And Heidi Sawyer is putting a lot of information out there too. So there's a lot coming out every week. If you're not receiving those emails, they're either going into your spam or junk, or there's a reason, maybe we've got an incorrect email address. So let us know, contact one of us and just tell us that something's happening there and you're not getting the information. So we'll be seeing you again next Sunday evening at 7:30. Just want to say a huge thank you to all of you that have donated over the past weeks. It has kept us going, literally. As you know, we rely on income coming in from Reiki courses, and we're not able to do those online at the moment. We're not able to actually convene as a group in any way, of course. And so we are so grateful for everything that you have donated. If anyone would like to donate further, don't feel any pressure to, but if you do like to, then we appreciate everything. There's a donation button on Journey to Heart and Soul website, www.journeytotheheartandsoul.co.uk. So for me, it's good night. Sound like I'm in the Eurovision Song Contest, don't I? Well, you know, next year. But for me, it's good night. From all our friends all over the world, we love you dearly, and thank you for coming. To Paul, thank you. To Marina, amazing. Yvonne, thank you. Mark, amazing. To everyone else, and David and Arthur and Ronnie, who's hiding. And all our friends and loved ones, and do invite people, you know, don't feel that you can't invite people for next week. You know, the more we have in a community, the better it is. So love from me, and have a wonderful, restful evening. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Sima.
Bye-bye, Suzanne. Bye, Marina. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye. Thank you very much.